Welcome to Selling Tri-Cities, where we are selling more than homes. This project was created to share our love and passion for this beautiful part of the country that we are lucky enough to call home. We want to showcase the small businesses, the entrepreneurs, and the beauty that makes the Appalachian Highlands one of the most desirable markets in the nation. But most importantly, we want to introduce you to the people that make this area such a wonderful place to live. So join us as we sell you on our love for the Tri-Cities. Hello and welcome to another episode of Selling Tri-Cities. We are selling more than homes with your co-host Gregg Pechmann and Aubrey Today we are very lucky to have Johnson City's own brewer, head brewer, and co-founder of Johnson City Brewing with us, Eric Latham. I'm a huge fan of Johnson City Brewing. I think most people in the entire East Tennessee is. So we are out here at his Dunes Creek location and we're talking business and how they got started and beer and just all the things. So thank you so much for coming out here today and talking to us. So first, kind of talk about a little bit how you guys got started and when. You guys have been around for a while, which is wonderful because a lot of small businesses don't last, unfortunately. So you guys are doing something right. So talk about how you guys got started and when.
Yeah, so this year we're celebrating 9 years. With the longest running brewery in Johnson City.
That's awesome.
And it started by Kat and I.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, cheers. Cheers to that.
He's the only one not drinking.
It's the brewer.
He's around it all the time.
Sorry.
Do you trust the brewer that's not drinking his stuff? Like many brewers, I was a home brewer, and we had an opportunity to we call it the longest running because Sophisticated Otter was a brewery that was here like 25 or 30 years ago. Yeah. A lot of people recognize that name. But we had the opportunity to be the first one kind of in current time. And I was a home brewer, and in the beginning I made everything. Me and Kat served everything. But we started it not because we thought I made the best beer in the world. It was because we liked getting people together.
That's awesome.
And we had a little homebrew club before that, and people would bring their beers or something to eat, and it was more about community more than anything.
Yeah. I love it. I actually think did you live in the Tree Streets when you did that? Or no?
No, actually it was before we moved here. I grew up in this area more or less. It was Abingdon, and in Abingdon we like to think that we're part of the Tree Streets, the Tri-Cities. Yeah. And so, but that's why we ended up down this way. But it was leading up to 9 years ago. When we moved here, we were still doing all that. So
I think that's when I first kind of met you. I think we have mutual friends that maybe live in the Tree Streets, and you had came over and brought some of the beer that you had brewed, and that's how I first.
Did they drink it?
We all drank it. It was delicious. I think you were there for like 20 minutes. I think you dropped it and left.
Was there some bail money involved?
There was some cash exchange. No, but I remember drinking it, and they were talking about you. So that's how I first, I think, met you and knew of you, and that was, it's probably 8 or 9 years ago. So maybe when you first were getting things started.
What we learned was that home brewing and commercial brewing are totally different things.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about, the business aspect of it.
Well, and take that further. Well, really simply is brewing and the business of brewing are totally different things. People come to us and say, hey, I'd like to start a brewery. And that's kind of what we tell them is the business aspect of it with the permits and the regulatory and all the things that you go through, making 5 gallons at a shot, like 40 of these beers, all the way up to 250 is where we started at a shot, and now we're making 2,000 beers every time we brew.
That's crazy.
And it's a lot different, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So how did you guys get? I mean, you guys have a storefront, downtown, but how did you guys get this, business up and running? Did you guys have support from the community? Did you have people who are just really excited to help, get this going? And did you start with 2 and 3 beers? Did you start with 7 or 8 different beers? Like, what was the process? Because now you guys are so creative when you're brewing. I mean, you constantly come out with different things. You're brave and courageous when it comes to putting in different flavors, and I love it because it's always fun to try something different. But how did that start?
Yeah, so it's kind of creative on both sides, both the brewing and the business side. Is like we love brewing new things and trying new things, and that's the fun of it. If we had to make the same 4 beers time and time again, it's like the Dunkin' Donuts guys have time to make the donuts every morning. Can't do that. We make these ones a lot here, Peaches and Blue and Gold, but the creative side from the brewing standpoint, that's part of the boom that happened in craft brewing over the past 30, 40 years across America.
Yeah.
So regular Joe like me could make something and be creative, especially with a couple of economic, upturns and downturns in 2006, 2008, and then more recently, that kind of thing. But on the business side, it was pretty unique because I came home to Kat and I said, let's start a brewery. And she kind of laughed for a minute, and then the next morning she woke up on a Saturday morning, she said, what do you think we'd need? And I said, $50,000, which to us is a lot of money. $50,000, it's a lot of cash. And then we both kind of laughed again, and then we started sending some messages out to friends and family and said, we're thinking about doing this, we need $50K. By Sunday, we had the money pledged.
Wow, that's amazing.
But it was kind of like, oh, great, I guess we got to do this thing now. So we're going to do it. So, but it was community raised. That was phase 1, friends and family, and we're actually currently in our phase 5 capital raise to continue growing the business.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about this building here because the Johnson City downtown one, you have that location. This building's awesome. Can you tell a little bit about the history and then why you picked this location?
Yeah, so this home here, this whole kind of, I guess it's a Victorian style home. This older home was built in 1895 by the Clark family. And all of this information we've gathered through interviews I've done with some of the descendants. They're still living in the area and doing the Boones Creek Opry and doing historical stuff. So it's really neat to be able to interview them and get some of the information. And so the Clark family built it. They had 13 kids. You can imagine 1895.
They need a brewery.
They stayed in business a long time.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is that they say it's kind of a funny joke because one of the family members said, "Well, we don't really believe in beer, And there were some issues with taking over this home, and we wanted to preserve it when we got it.
Sure.
So we don't really believe in beer, but we used to make mulberry wine back in the day on the property. And the family did, and I said, okay, no beer, but you can do the wine.
Sure.
That was kind of funny, but 13 kids, and these 2 rooms were off limits to the kids because this is where they live, but this is where they work too.
Yeah.
And just a lot of history on the property, and Boones Creek in general.
Yeah.
We want to embrace that too, and use it to name some of our beers, like Boones Creek Gold is our light beer.
Gotcha.
We had a spring coming out of the creek over here, and we used some of that water to make some of the beer.
Oh,
Nice.
that's awesome! I didn't know that.
All right.
Yeah. So this whole building, we were so excited, my family specifically, and a lot of our friends, when you guys took over this, because there's not a lot in Boones Creek for families to do.
Right.
There's not a place you can just go and hang out and relax and spend hours. Just letting the kids run around and picnic tables and food trucks and socialize and really just kind of spending time where adults and kids can have a great time. I think every time we come out here, our kids meet new kids and make new friends, and so do we. And it's just such a fun place to be. So we were really excited when you brought this out here, when this was the building that you guys chose, just to give families in the entire area, but a lot of people on this side of town, something fun to go do and to kind of just enjoy their time together.
Well, that's really what Kat and I want to get the word out about. Is we're about community. We're a family. We got 2 daughters, young daughters, and we wanted to have a place where people and families felt safe to bring their kids. We wanted to evolve what it meant to come and have a beer with friends and family, which is to say that European style, it's one that's, families invited, and we're not like trying to separate it. We're also culturally, our company culture is not, biker bar, that's its own thing kind of thing, but we want to embrace inviting people here, people from all walks of life, and certainly families.
Yeah, I mean, we even hosted a baby shower here, I think 2 years ago.
Really?
We hosted a baby shower down at the picnics. We got a tent and we hosted a baby shower here, and it was awesome because the kids would come and play, and it was just relaxing, and it was awesome. And you guys do events up here. I've been to events up here where you're cooking hot dogs and hamburgers for families. And so you guys do a lot of fun stuff out here. So you really need to follow their social media pages for sure, so you can keep up with when they have the food trucks and everything. So, but talk a little bit about that, about the schedule that they can kind of find right now in springtime and going into summer, so people know what's kind of going on out here.
Yeah, well, the best part about this property is it's a lot of outdoor seating and parking.
Yes.
So we're coming into the perfect season for warmer weather. If this wind would give us a break for just a minute, But May through October, I mean, goodness, that's what this property was for. And that was Kat and I's original vision, was to have a lot of outdoor seating and plenty of parking. Because some of the challenge with downtown is if you get down there,
you can't park.
can't park anywhere. And even outdoor seating, it's coming along. Downtown's got a lot of great things going on there too. But yeah, we have all kinds of events. And this Saturday we're doing our first ever picnic where we have these boxed charcuterie, sausages and cheeses and things. We're releasing new beers. And of course, we do festivals like Oktoberfest. We're doing a fundraiser for the animal shelter out here, and all these things. We can have people inside the house or the buildings there, but we'd like to have everybody outside on the property. And this property goes from the road all the way up to the house behind us here. It's a little over 4 acres.
Oh wow,
that's a lot.
Yeah.
So you can get out there, you can explore, you can have an adventure.
Yeah, the kids just run up and down that hill, which is so nice because by the time we go home, they're like, I'm ready for bed. And we're like, yeah. Well, mom and dad had some good beer, we had some food, and kids ran for 4 hours.
Yes.
This is a great day.
Everybody's ready for bed.
That's right. I was going to say that. So going forward, what's your vision? What's the plan going forward as far as your business?
Yeah, so we'd like to, from a straight business model standpoint, we love the opportunities we've been afforded to rent various properties, but I'm a big believer that the capitalist economic system starts working for you once you own some property. Certain doors start
As
opening.
realtor and lender, we support that.
Support that message.
Yes, we support that message.
I approve this message.
Yeah.
We're going to put something on the bottom of the video right here.
Yeah, Eric Latham says bye.
Bye. But Kat and I, even with being a small business owner, that can be tough to do, right? It can be tough to get approved for a mortgage and that kind of thing. And so it took us a very long time working to go from renting to buying. And from a business model, the same way is that we rented everything downtown when we started this business. We're currently still renting the downtown tap room and renting our production facility. And we'd like to either buy or build a building to put our own production facility in it. Get a little bit bigger of equipment and increase distribution a little bit, but mainly focus on what this represents out here, which is doing special events.
Yes.
Sometimes ticketed, some live music, some festivals, things like that. So it's instead of just how many of these did we sell on a Friday night, and sometimes it's a lot and sometimes it's not very many. We can say, oh gosh, we had this really nice event and it was sustaining revenue and it was one that helps pay our staff. We got the best staff in town too. It's got a great team.
Awesome.
And all those things. So that's really where we're headed.
So team, right? So there's a team now. It's just you and Kat starting everything else. So explain that process, how that came to be.
Yeah, well, the funny joke is that we're 9 years into this, and I say we have the biggest company, the biggest team we've ever had. And people go, geez, tell us, how many do you have now? I said, 13. We have 13 people. And 11, if my math's right, 11 more than Kat and I just doing it. And we're finally moving in the right direction. You all know this, that HR is one of the biggest challenges in the company. And trying to match up, and this is the challenge that small business has, is trying to match up with scraping and clawing and trying to grow and taking care of your team, which is room for increased compensation and room for promotion. But also, a small business, especially with the way that we do it, is incremental and organic. So it's not like we're flush with cash. It's you make a little bit and you invest in people and you invest in equipment and you invest in properties. And it's a nice model because you can pivot hard if something's not working. But specifically with people here, we've got the best team that we've ever had. We're really thankful for.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So tell me a little bit about the brewing process. Because I think it's very interesting. There's a lot of people who like to do their own, home brews, how you guys got started. But on a grander scale, what is something that you think nobody really understands or knows about the brewing process? Maybe it's something that's really a hard, task or something to get past, or something that's just super fun and cool.
I'd say getting back to something earlier, which was deciding which beers you're going to make, especially as you make more per batch. So if you're doing homebrewing, you're 5 gallons a shot, it's only 40 beers. Our standard is, we're homebrewers. is it drinkable? You know, that's the first question that we all sit around and ask. You know,
Yeah.
but if you're making, you know, when we first opened up in the King building down there, it's when you're doing one barrel, 250 beers. Well, it seems like a lot of beer.
Yes.
You know, and now 2,000 beers at a shot.
That's crazy.
You better darn well
Yeah.
do it right. And the old joke that I say, a lot of people don't realize this, is that brewing beer is 90% doing dishes and 10% glory.
Yeah.
And if you don't clean it right and sanitize and just clean it again,
Yeah.
OCD about it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't even do it.
Yeah.
Might as well forget about it.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that a lot of people don't know. That they think we're mashing in all the time. We got malt and we're just making the sugary liquid all the time. But we do a lot of cleaning. And when I say I appreciate our team, I appreciate our team. And we do it together now. So
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine like going from like, you know, trying something even at, you know, a 5-gallon thing to see if you like the recipe, then having to, I mean, I don't even know how many times that is to get to 2,000 beers. I mean, I can even double a recipe without me mixing up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I understand I'm also not the best cook, but,
Well, this is a really funny story to tell because this beer, Peaches, was the first time I made it 5 years ago was an accident. And so we were scaling up, just like you said, when you said times two. Well, we were scaling up from one barrel at a shot. In the brewing world, one barrel is 31 gallons. So, you know, wine and whiskey is usually, I think, 55 gallons, but a beer is 31 gallons. So scaling up from one barrel at a shot that we would make to 7 barrels. And I thought, well, I'm just going to times 7 everything. That makes sense, right?
yeah.
So the base beer for this one is called Kick of Coriander. And I tried to scale it up to the bigger system, and it came out too hoppy. It was a really good beer, but it was more like a pale ale than an amber ale. And I said, well, I can't sell it as Kick of Coriander. So I threw some peaches on the top of it, and I put it in front of our customers and said, please, please, please. And they loved it.
Oh yeah, this is a staple.
Yeah, and it's our #1 selling product.
Oh,
the rest
really?
is history.
I'm gonna have to try that after this one.
Yeah.
Go for it, yeah.
Let's talk about the blue gold one.
Yeah, come on, hurry up here.
I'm trying.
That's our second best selling one, by the way.
Is it?
Peaches is great. I was telling Eric before you got here that I love mixing peaches with Hapalo. Hapalo is also one of your, base beers. It's going to be around for
Yeah, that one and these two
forever.
are our best 3.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so I like mixing peaches. I'm like my own brewer. I'm my own head brewer. Look at that.
There it is.
I will
That's
come work
it.
for you. Teammate number 14.
Have I got a deal for you?
That's right. So, what's the history behind the blue gold one? How'd you come
Yeah, so
to that?
political. So what we do, speaking of team, what we do is we're big believers in within our 13 people, and over the years, that's grown a little bit. Everybody wears a number of hats, but we want to make sure no matter what job you have, you understand the brewing process.
Yeah.
And so we do what we call a team brew, and once every couple months we invite our entire team to come brew with us. And they learn how to make a beer. So when they're talking with customers or whoever it is out in the community, they can say, yeah, we made that beer and this is how you do it, this and that.
Yeah.
But Blue and Gold came out of it because a number of our team members are either currently attending ETSU or graduated from there.
Gotcha.
And so we made that beer in honor of ETSU and the Bucks. And we thought, well, golden ale, something super light, and with blueberries in it, and it was kind of an experiment, and it turned out.
Yeah.
I see it right here. It's got a story behind every beer, so that's cool. It's got a caption on it.
Yep.
That's
there
our
is.
motto. Yeah.
On
Stories
all of
behind
these,
every
they
beer,
kind of
yeah.
explain everything. So.
That's great.
Yeah, before this,
It's
I was
just
a
great
journalist.
labeling. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I was a journalist before all this, so writing is part of my part of what I like to do. So.
Okay.
Well, you guys have wrote an awesome story together, you and Kat, and what you guys have built and given back to the community. Really, you guys are so plugged into events and festivals and sporting teams and ETSU. I feel like you really can't go to a fun event in Johnson City without seeing JCB there. I think that I love going into restaurants and seeing your beer on tap, and it's really fun. I love you guys personally. I think you're wonderful humans. You're still very much the face of Johnson City Brewing. You guys work every day. You're here bartending and brewing and wearing all the hats, and I think anybody who knows you guys loves you. I mean, there's not a bad thing that can ever be said about you guys, and so I love that you guys have also built this, this thing in the community where your name really means something, and I love that. So thank you so much for coming out here and talking to us about your past and your story, and also your future and what you guys are wanting to accomplish. So also, before we go though, tell us where you guys are located, 2 locations, so people know where to find you guys, And then we'll plug in hours of operations as well, like as a screen, so everybody can kind of see the hours of operation might be different between the two places. But
Yeah, well, we have the two retail places downtown, just on Main Street there, across from Main Street Pizza, those guys. And we just went back to, before COVID, we were 7 days a week, and we just went back to 7 days a week at both places.
oh, that's wonderful. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the second location, of course, where we're at right now, Boone's Creek, is within city limits, but just barely.
Yeah.
And but this is Johnson Brewing, Boone's Creek, and I'll also just say too that it's really neat to watch this. Even though we're the longest running, there are 6 breweries in Johnson City now,
Yeah.
and there's into the double digits in the Tri-Cities, and we're part of the Tri-Cities Brewers Collective,
Okay.
which includes and invites all of it's a membership thing, but invites any breweries. Gypsy Cider's a part of it too, to promote all the breweries together, just because we think it
Yeah.
raises everybody up, it brings
That's right.
everybody along.
Absolutely,
So-
it's a family.
Yeah.
Small businesses helping small businesses, and
Yeah.
you guys have done such a great job of networking and building those relationships with a lot of different small businesses, and really getting your name out. And I think that really is a testament to, I mean, on top of great product and great people, but that also really helps staying in business. It helps, kind of creating longevity for what you
Yeah.
guys have started. So.
Yeah. Thanks all so much for having
Yeah.
me.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
It's been a
guys.
great story.
And stay tuned for another episode of Selling Tri-Cities next week. Ciao. Hello and welcome to another episode of
One more. This
You
is
just
turning
go.
into a drinking game.
Okay.
Right? Is that it? Yes.
Yeah.
If you are a small business owner or an entrepreneur and would like your business highlighted, please call 423-741-2564 or email aubrey.tellerico85@gmail.com. We would love to showcase your business.